Hey everybody, real paleo farming guy here. I am going to do a little bit of cooking today. So I wanted to say hi. It's been a couple days, actually about a week and a half, 2 weeks since I did my last video. So I wanted to jump on and do a video real quick. And I am going to be making a dish today that is just a combination dish of a bunch of my favorite things that I'm going to put in to one skillet and go from there. All right, so this is how I cook a lot of my meals when it is just me that I'm feeding. And this is how I have managed to keep my weight under control and keep my health under control as well. This meal is 100% paleo. It is not autoimmune protocol worthy because I am going to be using peppers and tomatoes. Okay, so, but it is 100% paleo. So if you're ever wondering about when I say paleo cooking, this is exactly what I am referring to. So right now I'm just going to heat up my wonderful cast iron skillet and some coconut oil that I have in the bottom of it. Make sure and get all of that nice and melted. I'm going to be starting with the chicken first. So all right. So what I've done is I actually prefer chicken thigh. To me, I think it has the best flavoring. I think it has the most flavoring of all of the chicken. That's just my personal opinion. I'm sure others will disagree with me. So I'm going to cook that right now. I have a gas stove and I'm cooking it on level 5, if that means anything to you. For the chicken, I am going to be using a blend of spices. Woo! This is a half teaspoon of onion powder, 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, 3/4 a teaspoon of finely ground sea salt, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and 3/4 of a tablespoon of Mrs. Dash salt-free extra spicy. That's what the red that you see in there, okay? So I want to go ahead and season my chicken so that it has its own flavoring to stand by as it is cooking. So now I'm going to mix it all up. And I've already, to save some time for this video, what I have done is I have already I already obviously cut the chicken up so that it would cook a little bit faster, and also so that I didn't have to sit here and cut it up in front of you guys and waste time on that. So while the chicken is cooking, I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit on this. While the chicken is cooking, I wanted to touch base with everybody and let you guys know where I've been and what I've been up to. Here, let me shift the camera just a little bit. Lots have been going on. Lots of exciting things. I have been going back and forth to Port Huron, Michigan a lot, and doing some intensive training and some healing work up in Port Huron with my friends up there. If you guys are watching this and you're in that area and you are looking for a good church to go to, because as you know, that's one of my other passions, as I am a pastor and a minister, is Interfaith Christian Community Church up off of Cleveland in Port Huron. Pastor Trey and Chantal Smith are absolutely phenomenal people. You will love them. So I have been going up there and doing some healing work, and kind of continuing this journey that I've been on for a couple of years now of not only cleansing myself, but also working on my soul, working on forgiveness, so that I can have overall health, okay? I'm not looking at just fixing this part of my health, you know, my gut and the way I eat and the way I, you know, act, and as far as like activity levels and stuff like that. I'm also looking to heal the heart and the soul of my human body. And you know, there's a lot of things that happen to us throughout our life and as children and throughout relationships and stuff that end up causing a lot of hurt. And you know, it's amazing how much some of that stuff plays into your overall health. So I encourage everybody to kind of explore that a little bit. And if you know anybody that can, you know, help you or work with you in that area, you know, definitely feel free to get in touch with them and get that going. It's been wonderful for me. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about how my past has affected my relationships, not only with people, but with my family and things like that. So it's been really cool. I'm going to step over here because I need to grab another bowl. I'm going to be pulling out the chicken in just a few minutes after it gets done cooking. And then just to show you what I have over here is I have some homemade turkey broth right here that I'm going to be using later, some tomatoes, onions, cabbage, peppers, and then some spices back there. Here is my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful chicken that is just cooking up so beautifully. I can't wait to eat this. Sorry guys about the video and about moving the camera around so much. I have not been able to get a small tripod yet. And some of my other camera equipment is still on order. So I'm still doing it the old-fashioned way with my cell phone. I hope that you will appreciate that and love it. So anyways, all right, so the chicken is cooked to about the point that I want it cooked. Even if it's not cooked all the way through, which it pretty much is, I'm going to go ahead and take it out because it will continue to cook a little bit more in just a little while when I put it back in with all of the veggies. You know, for a number of years, I was the only one in my house that ate paleo, and so I learned how to basically cook really easy one-pan man meals is what I like to call them. So you can hear that nice and sizzle. I'm going to go ahead and put my onions in there. Yum, yum, yum. Let's get those broke up. I want the nice little rings. And so we still have all that flavoring and oil down in the bottom. So I'm using that to kind of coat the onions because you want everything to have a little bit of a layer of flavor on it when you cook. That's the important thing. Most people forget that the flavoring is very important. They think if you just throw a little bit of seasoning, you know, on the whole thing, that's all you need to do. But really, when you cook, you have to put layers of seasoning in, layers of flavoring in. So we're just going to get those. One of my little onions just escaped. So I don't step on it, I'm going to bend down and pick it up. Throw it away. To me, there is nothing better than the smell and the sound of onions cooking in a cast iron skillet. Yum, yum, yum. So, alright. So now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and put our cabbage in. And let that kind of stir around a little bit. Get all that nice stuff as well from the onions. You know, while this is going on, also you got to remember the oil. The onions put out a little bit of moisture, but the oil is pretty much getting soaked up at this point. And that's what I'm using the broth for later. Instead of continuing to add oil to it or something like that, I'm going to want to deglaze the pan anyways. So I figured, why not use my own organic, pasture-raised turkey bone broth that I made after Thanksgiving and has been in the freezer. I never waste a chance to make bone broth, whether it be chicken, beef, pork, lamb, turkey. So basically what I'm looking for here with the cabbage is I'm wanting to get a little bit of a scorch on it. I use such fancy terms when I cook. That was on the counter, so I'm going to throw that one back in. I love cooked cabbage. It's kind of funny, I'll tell you a little story. When my kids were younger, my kids loved fried cabbage. And I didn't realize how much they loved fried cabbage. It was something that I would cook for them every once in a while. And later on, I found out how much they really liked it. I was kind of shocked. So now I'm going to add the peppers. These are the baby sweets. And really, to be honest with you, I'm adding the peppers not only for texture, but for color. I'm not really sure that the meal would taste all that differently without the peppers, to be honest with you. However, I wanted them, so let it cook down enough to where, you know, the pan has some more room in it. Okay. Now, the mixture of spice that I'm going to put in right now, if you can see, it has a little bit of an orange color to it. This is a half tablespoon of onion powder, half tablespoon of garlic powder, 3/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. It has 1 tablespoon of turmeric, which is awesome for arthritis and for inflammation. 3/4 of a teaspoon of thyme and a half teaspoon of dried parsley. That's in my next bowl that I haven't put in yet, the thyme, the green spices. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and sprinkle this in. And now let's stir that around. You're going to notice that a little bit more dry is going to take place. And the white, translucent vegetables, the cabbage and the onions, are going to now start taking on an orangish, yellowish color. That's from the turmeric, however you want to pronounce it. Tomatoes. My dad and I always get into a little bit of a tiff over how to pronounce turmeric or turmeric. So it doesn't really matter as long as you use it, right? Right, Pops? If you watch this later. Oh, I'm not sure that my parents will watch this. They are off of Facebook for a while. Alright, now I am going to throw my tomatoes in, which is going to add a little bit of liquid. I have some nice diced tomatoes here. These are tomatoes that I canned myself. As some of you know, I do enjoy taking care of all of my own grocery needs. I'm not always able to. I am in transition right now, like I've mentioned on several of my videos, where I have been in Indiana for a few months, and now I'm in Michigan. So I wasn't able to do the canning that I really wanted to do this year. So, alright. Now I'm going to put the dried thyme and the dried oregano in and mix that up. So as you can tell, I like a lot of flavor. A lot of flavor. Alright, this pan is nice and dry on the bottom, this skillet. So the glazing cannot come soon enough. Believe it or not, as much moisture is in all of these vegetables. I do have the heat turned up pretty high. Just simply so that it will cook in a decent amount of time. Also, because that's just how I like to cook. There are certain things that I do cook on lower temps and lower, at a lower pace, especially when it comes to grass-fed, grass-finished meats. Low and slow is how we like to tell people all the time. Alright, so I've added the chicken back in. Alright, so we're going to get all that nice and mixed up. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 2 cups of my own homemade turkey bone broth. There we go. Now the bottom of the pan is starting to deglaze. This could almost be a chicken and cabbage stew. However, that is not how I'm going to eat it. Okay. So I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes. But in the meantime, I want to give you guys a little bit of a close-up. Oh my goodness. If I had smell-o-vision right now, that would be awesome. Here is my spice list of what I've been using. Okay. So, yeah. Hello. I'm back. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna let that cook for just a few minutes and maybe stand here and chit chat with you for a little while. Hold on, grabbing a cup of coffee. Hello, Mother. This is my mom's coffee cup. She's had it for God only knows how many years. But I love drinking out of it when I'm at her house. So, this beautiful kitchen that I'm in right now, and the house that I'm in right now is my mother and father's house. I have been staying here at their home in Michigan while I'm in transition and kind of finding my own place. I'm taking my time to look for a place around. I'm not really sure where I'm going to land permanently. So we'll see about that. I'm not really sure. Anyways, So yeah, I'm not really sure if I'm going to end up, you know, out towards Port Huron, further into Detroit, or if I'm going to stay out here in the Belleville area. So yeah, but I'm having fun, you know, getting to do a little bit of teaching and ministering around, and I've done a little bit of traveling to some other areas where I've been able to go and be of help to other people and other churches. So that has been wonderful. I feel like I'm kind of catching up with everybody as the meal is being prepared. So one of the things that I like to do, as you can tell, this is a huge amount of food, okay? There's no way that I will eat all of this food in one sitting. It is, I want to say this is like an 18-inch cast iron skillet, about 2.5, 3 inches tall. So it's a good size skillet. I obviously can't eat it all at once. This is how I meal prep as well. So when I make food, I also consider, what am I going to be eating for the rest of the week? What am I going to be, how am I going to be meeting my nutritional needs throughout the rest of the week? Enough protein, enough roughage, enough greens, enough, you know, things like turmeric. You know, those kind of things. It's all important, especially when you are trying to follow a certain lifestyle and trying to make sure that you are getting enough of those minerals and spices and just the different elements into your food. Also, it's important so that you stay on track. The reason why most people fail at lifestyle changes or eating plans, whatever you want to call it, I've been basically living paleo for about 5-ish years now. I did kind of fall off the wagon for a little bit last year, but I've gotten right back on it, and I'm enjoying it again. However, one of the biggest reasons why I fell off is because I was not meal prepping. I was not making sure that I always had food available and meals available to me. So that is key number one. If you set yourself up to succeed, you will succeed. You can use that advice in just about any part of your life. All right, I'm going to step away for a minute. All right, I'm back. So as this is simmering, well, right now it's actually boiling. And I am making a mess. Mom, if you do eventually see this video, don't worry, I will clean your stove. My mom and I were blessed with the same issue. We're both OCD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down because I do want to continue to let it simmer for a little bit. However, I am going to plate me a nice helping of this. I almost wish I would have added some curry powder to this. It almost reminds me of an Indian dish. All right. And grab a fork. And just like all the good cooks and chefs do, I'm going to taste this to let you know how it turned out. So as you can tell in the time that it took me to, obviously the prep is a little bit different. The prep probably took me about another 15 minutes. But in the time that I've been on this video for about 25 minutes, in portion of this video, I have been able to make a full meal. So you get your veggie, you get your protein, everything. So oh my gosh. Guys, that is really super good. Just enough heat to it. I'm not talking about heat from the stove. Enough of a kick from the Mrs. Dash Extra Spicy. And enough flavor from all of the other spices. The vegetables were cut up enough to where they got sauteed enough. Look at that. If that is not delicious, I don't know what is. So, again, I don't know what to call it. 90% of my meals that I make, I don't know what to call them. They're just meals. They're food. That's how I like to cook. Don't get me wrong. When I am cooking for people, or when I'm making meals, or making meals for my clients or anything like that, I do actually follow my own recipes. I follow my own meals and my own dishes and stuff like that. I'm not afraid to admit that I do use other people's dishes once in a while and other people's recipes. So have fun. Get in the kitchen. Get in the kitchen and have fun. Mix up some... That's the only way you're going to learn how to cook. If you've ever wanted to learn how to cook, that's how you're going to do it, is by getting in the kitchen and doing it. It is so much fun. It's so relaxing. So for now, though, I'm going to get off this video so that I can go finish enjoying the rest of that wonderful plate that I just made. And then I need to turn this off and get it cooling down so I can pack it in my little containers, so that I have meals for the rest of the weekend while I get into my busy time of the week. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to try the recipe. Let me know if you do try the recipe. And remember, it doesn't cost anything to be a kind human being. Remember my hashtag. Hashtag be love, live love, share love. And remember to always stand behind your integrity, no matter where you're at or what you're doing. All right? Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.